everyone. Hi, friends and future authors. This is Lynn Smargis back for another week of Ask Me Anything. And today's topic is I always often get this question, is this book idea good enough? Will anybody ever read this book? And I get this question a lot. So that was going to be the topic of the workshop this morning. Hi, Jim. And if you have any questions about writing and publishing, it does not have to be about the topic that I'm talking about today. Just type in those questions in the comments, and I will answer them for you on the Ask Me Anything today. So this comes every week at 9:05. I'm a little early this week, 9:05 Pacific and 12:05 Eastern, or yes, 12:05 Eastern. And I'm really excited before we jump into the Ask Me Anything today to tell you about a new workshop I'm offering. It's going to be tomorrow, and it's going to be with me and Jay from Audavita. And it is an ideation workshop. So it's geared towards podcasters, but any creatives who are looking to find new ideas for their content are welcome. And please make sure that you sign up for that. You can find that on my website, www.writeforyou.me, and then click on the events page. It will be right there, and just click on the link to sign up for this free workshop. It's going to be held tomorrow, so make sure you are there. All right, my friends. So is my idea good enough for a book? Will anybody ever read this? I get this question a lot from clients or people that are talking to me about writing their book. So one of the ways you can find out if your idea or topic is book worthy, so to speak, is to look and see, is anybody else writing anything about the topic? Just literally go on Amazon and search around and see, is anybody writing anything about the topic? Now, it might be that you are a pioneer in the space. You might be the first person writing about the topic, and that's perfectly fine. But there should be something somewhere along the lines of complementary ideas to yours, or something that is in general idea to your idea as well. So there's probably something on there. Another thing you always also want to know is, before you even, like when you have your idea, who is your avatar and what pain point are you solving for them? Okay, so if you can't identify a pain point you're solving for somebody, then you'll probably need to switch up your topic to make it a better topic to solve a pain point. Okay, because typically people read books for two reasons. One is because they have a problem they want to solve, or two is they want to be entertained. And I'm just talking about nonfiction books this morning. We're not jumping into fiction. Obviously, fiction is more the entertainment piece. But if you're writing a nonfiction book, it needs to solve a pain point. And it needs to solve a pain point for a specific avatar. So a good non-example of this would be, I had somebody asking me for editing help, and I asked them what their book was, what their focus was, what their purpose, and who their avatar is. And they told me what the focus of their book was, which was perfectly fine. But they said, this book is both for consumers and it's also for other business owners, like B2B. Well, it's not a good idea to make one book a B2B and a B2C book, right? You can't speak to a business owner and a consumer the same way. It's just not going to work. So what I recommended to them is that they either make their book in two parts. So like the first half of their book is directed towards consumers, and then the second half of their book is directed towards business owners. Or the other thing, which would be a better idea, is just make two separate books, and then make one their topic idea directed towards consumers, and then make a completely separate second one where their topic idea is directed towards other business owners. So that way, those two books would be separated, and there's no confusion for people picking up the book, who the book was for, what the topic is, and who the avatar is. Okay, so you want to make sure you have one avatar for your book. That's super, super important. Because a lot of people make the mistake of saying, I want my book to be for everyone, and you do not want your book to be for everyone. No matter what book you write, it's not going to be for everyone, and you don't want it to be for everyone either. Because the fact of the matter is that people are looking for specific solutions when they're looking for books, or specific types of entertainment if they're looking for a fiction book. And then if you say, well, my book is for everyone, like you write a general book about travel, well, no one's really going to buy it, right? But if you write a book about, hey, this is how you backpack across Europe, and when you're on a tight budget, then that is a specific group of people that are looking for that book. Or as opposed to that one, you can say, here are the top 3 luxury hotels in the world that you can stay at if you're looking for a luxury experience at a resort in Europe. Okay, so then those are very specific, and people who are looking for those specific topics are going to be drawn to your content and or your book. So keep that in mind. So another thing you want to keep in mind for your readability of your book and or if anybody is ever going to want to read this book ever is you want to make sure, and a lot of my clients, I see this with a lot of my clients because people are just not professional writers. If you're not a professional writer, this tends to happen a lot. There's two things. One is overcapitalization. So I see a lot of people like capitalize words that shouldn't be capitalized because they think these words are important and they feel that they're important, so they capitalize them. Now, obviously, there is a grammar set of rules for capitalization, and you can use some artistic leeway to capitalize things that aren't capitalized. But when you do it every other word or every second or third word, you know that is not correct. Okay. There's very few things that really need to be capitalized when you're writing in the middle of the sentence. Obviously, one is the letter I, and that's the one biggest one that really gets under my skin that people like to not capitalize. Now, if you're texting, obviously, who cares if you capitalize the letter I? But if you're writing a book, you definitely need to capitalize the letter I all the time. Hey, Michael, thanks for joining. So that's one thing. Okay. So another thing people make a mistake about, which really kills readability, is that people doing a lot of bullet points and a lot of numbering, like more than you need to. And also, if I see a lot of numbering or bullet points in a text, I know that's a really big sign that my client is probably using AI to write their book. And so I really try to deter my clients from using AI to write the book because obviously that's someone else's material that's in there and it just doesn't read well. You have to rewrite it anyway. So those are two things that really kill readability for a book. So if you're wondering, hey, is my topic really good? Another thing you can do, and would anybody read my topic, is you can put out a poll. Now, there's many ways to put out polls. One is like SurveyMonkey, which is a free service. You can use Google Form, which is free. SurveyMonkey does have a paid as well. So there's a lot of different survey and poll programs out there that you can use to make your poll. And so ask people about the topic that you're going to pick, not the general topic, but more of the niche topic. So again, going back to travel, because I used to be a travel writer. So sorry, that was a yellow jacket flying by. So you can ask people like, hey, when you go on luxury vacations in Europe, like where do you like to go? And you can give them the choice of 5 places, right? Or you make up your questions. So figure out the questions that you need to have answered in order to write your book. Having a poll is a great way. I mean, that way, A, you don't have to guess if somebody wants to read your book if it's a hot topic. And B, you know that when you write your book, you can make it more focused on the topics people are looking for. Okay, so in addition to a poll, you can actually do interviews. Interviews are a great way to find out what people are looking for. I would always recommend to record the interview and then to take the transcript and then make sure that you take that transcript and review it to know like what the people were talking about. Now, AI is great for this piece. So if you take the transcript and just ask AI to make a summary of your transcript, that's a really great use of AI to help you with your book, but not directly write it. So that's another way to find out, is the topic of the book that you want to write good enough that people are going to want to read it, right? So, so doing polls, asking people what they want, what they're looking for, and more specifically, like why? Like, why are you looking for this information? Because that's really important too, because that why that you get your answer for is going to also inform you on how much more of the topic that people might want and why. And so you can take that why and really build it into your book as well. So that's another thing you can do. So if you have any questions for Ask Me Anything, please drop them in the chat. It can be a question about anything. It does not have to be the topic that we're talking about today. I love answering people's questions about writing and publishing. So please make sure to drop them in the chat because we still have a few more minutes and I can answer a couple questions on my Ask Me Anything. So definitely do polls, definitely, survey people, ask them for an appointment to just talk with them over the phone or talk with them over Zoom, and then take that transcript from Zoom and then to take it and summarize it so you know what people are looking for. Another thing you can also do is there is a program called Publisher Rocket, which is a fabulous program, and that program can help you decide if your topic is something that people are A, looking for on Amazon, and B, if people are buying it. So when you go on Publisher Rocket, you can actually go on Publisher Rocket. You have to buy the program, And I buy it because I use it. I have 4 books that I've published. I'm working on another 2 this year. And so I love using Publisher Rocket for a couple of different reasons. One is because it's a really great source of information to learn your keywords and categories that you can pick for your book. Now, it might not be like, oh, well, I know what my keywords are, but Amazon has specific keywords for books that work really well and specific categories. And not only that, if you break it down further, Amazon has specific categories for ebooks, and some of their categories for paperback books are a little bit different. I don't know how that works. I'm just telling you I know how that works. So you can actually pick different categories for your paperback and your ebook to help more people find it. So when you are going on to Publisher Rocket, is a Dave Chesney program, and Dave Chesney developed this specifically for people to help them with choosing the best keywords and categories for their books. But you can actually go on there and type in the keyword that you are focusing your top book topic on. And when you type in that keyword, brings up a list of books that are on Amazon. And not only does it bring up this list of books, but you can find out like how many people are looking for that book every month on Amazon, how much book sales are made on it. Is is that a saturated field that people are writing a lot of books in? So you can find a lot of really great data, and so you can really fine tune your book idea based on the information and data from Publisher Rocket, because they pull all their information from Amazon. And now everybody doesn't sell their book at Amazon, obviously, but a huge bulk, like 85% of people, publish their book through Amazon. So it is a good way to get data on, is anybody going to read my book, right? So like if people are on Amazon and you put in your topic, say it's like traveling across Europe. And so if you put in that topic and you see that, people aren't looking for it, but it's really saturated, go in and see what titles people are doing, because you might have a title that's a different niche from someone else. So, that specific overall arching category might be really saturated, but your niche might not be. So that's another thing to look at to see like, hey, is anybody going to read this book? That you might have a niche that's really that is really popular, but no one's written a book about it, but people are looking for that topic. So when you're using Publisher Rocket, you want to look for topics and keywords that are highly sought after on Amazon, but do not have a huge saturation point, or there's not a lot of people writing books on that topic. And if there is, are there people writing books on your specific niche? Okay, so that's even more important. So like when I wrote The Guide to Traveling Gluten-Free, I looked that up on Amazon, and then I cross-referenced that with Dave Chesney's Publisher Rocket, and I literally could not find any books. There were literally 0 books on traveling gluten-free except for one. There was like a how to travel gluten-free in Italy. I think that was the only one at that time. So I literally had the market open, and I know people were looking for this because my podcast was gaining in popularity. And so that's another thing, right? Because like podcasts and books have a lot of crossover. You can also look on a lot of like podcast charts. If you just Google up like, top 100 podcasts of travel, you'll be able to find a lot of different databases that can give you that information. So you can also cross-reference that with podcast information to see what kind of podcasts and topics people are looking for, and see if that is something that can cross over into a book, right? And reference that with Publisher Rocket and also Amazon, and then your own polls and interviews and experience. And if you do all of that, you will have a really good database set to see if your topic and your niche are something that people are A, looking for, and B, and the niche that people want to know more information about that's not oversaturated, because it's really, really hard to break into a saturated space. Now, can you write a book that's in the saturated space? Yes. But of course, you're going to have a ton of competition. So just keep that in mind. You're going to have to do a lot more marketing in order to get your word out there about your book over your competitors if you are decided that you're going to go and try to write a book in a saturated space. Well, I hope this has been super helpful, friends. And I hope you have enjoyed this. Just remember, I just wanted to remind you one more time, tomorrow I am doing the ideation workshop with my friend Jay from Audivita. I'm really excited to be partnering with him on this. And so make sure that you sign up for that. You can sign up on my website, which is www.writeforyou.me. And all you have to do is click on the events. You'll see the event right there. and you can just both the events on that page are complimentary. So you can sign up for both of them. But the one that I'm talking about today is the ideation workshop tomorrow with Jay Spang, and I'm really excited to offer that with Jay as a collaboration workshop together. So you'll get to learn 5 different free tools you can use for ideation, which are really great. And then in addition to that, we're going to tell you about a bonus paid tool that you can use for ideation, which is really fabulous, specifically ideation for YouTube ideas, which is becoming harder and harder all the time because YouTube is getting really saturated, especially in certain categories and verticals. So, all right, my friends, I hope you're having a great start to your week. I hope this has been super helpful for you. And I really hope that you have a fabulous week. And I will talk to you all soon. Bye.